Good morning, trading world. It is November 24th, 2021, 7:50 a.m., and this is my pre-market outlook. First, let me start by wishing everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And this holiday week seems to be anything but a holiday week. I started off the week being a little concerned that maybe volume would be very light and we would kind of float away and float up. But it has been the exact opposite. It is volume heavy, holiday week, additional people in front of the screens, making for a very volatile week. Or holiday shortened week of trade. So, I did a video last night. I may still post it, but had a little technical trouble, so I'm going to go through things pretty quick. This video was to be a little different from the other videos that I do, where I plot scenarios and paths and prepare you for it. Being that where we closed yesterday, it pretty much gave us no real statistical edge on direction or path. So I wanted to kind of focus on other things that were concerning to me in the market right now. And with that being said, I consider myself to be 85% technical trader with 15% fundamental principles. So, not going to go through everything, but the fundamentalist in me would be looking at key stocks for clues as to where we are going to be headed. Those key stocks would be Visa, MasterCard. Kind of tells you what the public is doing, where their spending or spending habits are like. The next is going to be any ETF from the home builders area. XHB, HOMZ, ITB. I think there are quite a few to go through. You can use any of those. And then something from the metals, which I would be using cper. Those are kind of things that they're trendsetters. So the market, I think, would make decisions and steps based on where those trendsetters would be headed. Now, if we look at Visa, we'll take a quick look at Visa. We have a 1 year daily chart up on Visa, and things look very bad for Visa right now. Visa seems to be in a downtrend. And we characterize the downtrend is because we have a higher low, lower low, higher low. Lower high, lower low. And it looks like we tried to break, but considering where we are in the trend, you would consider this the high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So Visa pretty much seems to be in a downtrend. Does not bode well for the rest of the market. Everything else, the XHB, cper, all of those other ETFs that I would look at to get a clue are in consolidation. Consolidation meaning it's decision time. Do we continue the trend up or change to a trend down? And when we go back and look at the SPY, we're pretty much in the same boat. All right, back to the SPY, and I have a 90-day 4-hour chart. And I just said that the trendsetters are in consolidation. Look at the SPY. Over the last, 13, 14 days, we've pretty much been range bound, which means it is in consolidation, because we've done nothing but trade in this range, down to the bottom of the range, up to the top of the range, test the bottom of the range. We've pretty much been in range bound for the last 13 to 14 days. So, if you believe in trends, or you use trends in your trading, you may want to go back and look at the Dow theory, because one of the things that I truly use in my trading on the technical side is the Dow theory. And the Dow theory says we're pretty much in a trend until we're not in that trend. And what that means, even though we're in consolidation, the broader trend is up. And it pretty much means we're in that uptrend until that uptrend turns into a downtrend. And the way that we find that we've switched over into a downtrend is a simple 1, 2, 3 criteria. That simple 1, 2, 3 criteria is, first, we have a trend. I'm going to take a intermediate low in this intermediate trend, which will be here, and draw a trend line. And a trend line is nothing but connecting the lows of the trend. And it sounds simple, but in all my years of trading, the reason why most people are off or are technically off is because the easiest thing and the most fundamental thing in technical analysis is drawing a trend line. And most people don't seem to know or get a trend line correct. I'm not going to go too deep into the lesson now, but you connect the lows. You find the lowest low from the time frame that you're trading or the look that you're taking, and find the next lowest low before the high, and connect those lows. So again, back to the 1, 2, 3 criteria. The first thing is that we have to have a break of the trend line. That's number one. And we have that break right here. That is number one. Number two, we need a test of the preceding high or previous low. So what we're looking for right here is going to be that test. This is the previous high up here. So the second part of this is to see if we get a test back up to this high. Is this the test? I don't believe so. Because we are kind of in that in-between stage on certain charts and looking at this intermediate chart, we haven't gotten to a overbought area. It leads me to believe that the retest is going to be higher back up toward this area here, which would mean we have a rally coming. It failed here. Today, we probably get another test and probably a break of this area to get the number 2 part in the 1, 2, 3 criteria. Now, the third part would be the breaking of the preceding minor rally high or minor sell-off low. So in this case, it would be the breaking of this level here. That would be the third thing. So if we break this, that would change the intermediate trend to a downtrend. That also gives us another clue coming into today or this morning that we're going to cover a crazy range. All right, back to our 30-minute chart so that we can kind of glean on what to look forward to today's trade. One of the key things that I really pay a lot of attention to is the market maker's expected move. The estimated upper edge of that market maker's move for this week is 475, which is way up here. The estimated lower edge of that move is 465. Now, it is highly likely that we test or close close to one of those edges, whether it's the top edge or the lower edge, we don't know yet. But in any sense, we have a good ways to go to make it to either of those edges. And being that in the 1, 2, 3 criteria, we still need to test the preceding high. I'm not sure whether this is the high. This could turn out to be the high today or the next trading day. But I have a feel that we're going to push higher to get that test of the preceding high. So either way, it means today's going to be pretty crazy. Now, the other thing that tells me that today is going to be crazy is that in looking at order flow, a majority of the book is bearish today. And usually if the crowd is leaning one way and we get the opposite move, which in today's case would be bullish, 9 times out of 10, that opposite move would be super explosive. So we could see something off the charts today as far as a move. And I do expect it to be two-sided. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to place key levels up, and we have to pay very much close attention to the divergence and convergence of internals and our indicators to give us kind of at the moment or in the moment direction of where we're going. So let me get some of these levels up now. Coming into this morning, we will cover a lot of ground. As I said earlier, there is no statistical edge whatsoever as far as what type of day structure we will have. But I do see that whatever it is, we're going to cover a lot of ground. Just as a general feel that I have, and I don't like to base things off of a feel, but it's highly likely that we would end up with something that's going to look something similar to a trend up day. It's not going to be the normal structure of a trend day because they may scare us this morning with breaking through yesterday's close, which was 468, which we've already done. We're well below yesterday's close. So it's not going to be a trend up day structure in theory, but we're going to have or end up with, or possibly end up with some of those traits with a sharp climb at some point during the day. I'm not saying that that is what's going to happen, but we have to be prepared for this sharp climb. And then we also have to be prepared that the retest of the previous high could be what we see at this 468, 469 area, and we roll over and continue going lower. So we have to be prepared for those things, but I do see us taking lower off the opening, and it's going to be very important to recognize divergence as we come to these reaction areas. The key support levels are going to be 466, the 465 area, and if we break through 465, high 464 area, we will probably see a dive down toward 463 and quite possibly 461, being that that's the market maker's lower edge. Yeah, let me make a correction. I think I said earlier that the market makers estimated lower edge was 465. It's actually 461. And the estimated upper edge is 476. So if we don't hold support at 466, 465, or 463, keep in mind 461 is that area where risk, the market makers expected move is at 461, and closing below 461, it could get really crazy. It could seem like we've hit inside of a bottomless pit once we get toward that, get below this 463 area. Now, when it comes to the top side, key resistance levels are going to be 469 area, 470 area, and then 473 for today. So those are the things and reaction points to look forward to. As always, know your risk. And again, wishing you a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And as always, wishing you a successful day of trading. Have a good one. I almost forgot, as a quick note, one of the important things about today to look towards is how we close the day. If we hold on to gains up here, if we do get a rally and we hold on to gains, look for that to carry over for the next day or so. If we roll over and we find ourselves at the lows of the day, it's saying that we're quite possibly put in that number 2 part of the formation, that test of the preceding high. And it's quite possibly in the next couple of days that we're going to change this intermediate trend to a downtrend. So that's one of the most important things about today that I'll be trying to keep an eye on to see how we close today. So I just wanted to add that as a quick note. Again, wishing you a successful day of trading. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day.